favorite things to do when I'm at home is baking. Since we're all locked in at home with all this quarantine stuff, you know, we kind of get a sweet tooth every once in a while, so can't go down to the local donut store or the bakery that you used to go to. So I want to share with you one of my favorite recipes. These are carrot cake muffins, and I'm going to show you how to make them. Make sure you got this. All right, let's stop. Okay, for this recipe, you're gonna need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a half teaspoon of ground allspice, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1¼ cups of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 large eggs, 1/4 cup, which is about a half a stick of butter, melted and cooled. 1/4 cup of orange juice. Okay, it could be just this kind of orange juice out of the bottle. A half teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1.5 cups of shredded carrots. You can literally shred it yourself, so you have nice fresh carrots. These are all the things you're gonna need. You're also gonna need a cupcake tin, some spray, and some liners. So we start with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Remember, it's baking soda, not baking powder. Okay, 1 teaspoon. To that, we're gonna add a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Then a half a teaspoon of ground allspice. And a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Let's take that off. And then last but not least, we're going to add some salt. So we add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that does it for the dry ingredients. Now, in a bigger bowl, we're gonna beat together the 2 eggs. Little eggshell in there, get that out of there. We beat the eggs. We're now going to add the brown sugar. The brown sugar is 1¼ cups. 1¼ cups. That's about a cup right there. And about a 1/4. That should be about a 1/4 right there. And let's see. Maybe that's a little bit too much. That looks like a 1/3. Let's say a 1/4 here. Since it's not too much for exactness. Okay, now we're gonna mix these two together until you cream the butter with the eggs. Now we're going to whisk in the melted butter. This is the butter, the 1/4 cup, which is a half stick of butter. Okay. to that, a 1/4 cup of orange juice. And a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I like vanilla extract, so I just kind of dab it in that way. Now we have the wet side of the recipe and the dry side of the recipe. Now we need to prepare the muffin tin. Make sure that it's nice and clean, and we're gonna lightly spray each one of the cupcake slots here. Now I've got some Christmas liners, so those will do fine. And you see how the oil spray will make it so that the cupcake tin stays in place, but also so it doesn't stick once the baking process is done. Okay? Now you can give it a light spray so they don't stick, the batter doesn't stick to the outside of the tin. Okay, now that you have your dry and the wet part of the recipe and your cake tin is ready, you're gonna take the dry part and you're gonna just slowly combine it with the wet side of the recipe. All your wet ingredients. Combine the wet and the dry. Don't overmix it. That's enough. Now you're gonna take your 1.5 cups of carrot, shredded carrot, and you're gonna combine it into the mixture. You're gonna fold it into the mixture. See, you fold it. It's not stirring, it's folding. Now, some people like raisins, some people don't. I like raisins in my carrot cake. So I got about 1/2 cup of raisins. Then I'm gonna add, fold those in as well. Okay, a little trick, a baking trick, is to take your batter and put it into one of these freezer bags. Once you put all of it into the freezer bag, you cut the corner, and it makes for a cleaner way of filling the cups. So you basically just take all your batter, and you scoop it into the bag, little by little. So once you have all the batter inside the bag, you're gonna take the corner of the bag and you're just gonna cut off the tip of the bag. Not too deep into the bag. Okay? Now, you'll be able to squeeze into each one of the cups about 2/3 full. For each cupcake. So once all the cups have been filled, just place in the oven at 350 degrees. Center rack. Depending on your oven will take.
Again from the beginning.
So these cupcakes, depending on your oven, will take about 16 to 18 minutes. So I'm gonna give it 17 minutes. Timer. 17 minutes. Start. After about 17 minutes, they are ready. You want to check them with a toothpick. Just insert a toothpick. If it comes out dry, they're ready.